Okay, so today we are going to talk about German definite articles, and you may have already learned about this. German definite articles fall into three different categories according to the gender of any noun. So we know that a noun is a person, place, or a thing. And in English, these nouns are often signaled by what's called a definite article. And in English, the definite article is the. However, in German, there are three definite articles, and they correspond with the gender of each word. For masculine articles, the definite article is der. For feminine, the definite article is die. And then for neuter nouns, the definite article is das. So we also know that most of the German nouns, the gender that corresponds with the noun does not necessarily mean the noun's physical gender. For example, das Mädchen means the girl in German. Das is neuter, but girl obviously is feminine. So it doesn't really always correspond with the actual physical gender of the noun in question. So, and then again, all of the plural nouns, regardless of their gender, the definite article is die. So, even though they don't correspond with the physical gender, there are some ways that you can um, know whether a noun is masculine, feminine, or neuter. There are a few rules, not many of them, but there are a few. And the first one is words that end in CHEN or LEIN. Okay? Hien and line. Those words are always neuter. And the reason for this is CHEN and LEIN are what's called diminutive endings. Diminutive means that the ending is placed on the word to make the original word a smaller version of what it once was. So let's go ahead and look at an example. The word is der Korb. Der Korb means basket in German, the basket. And then let's look at its diminutive equivalent, das Körbchen. Das Körbchen, or small basket. Okay? Another example would be das Haus. Das Haus is the word for house in German. Das Häuschen. Das Häuschen. And das Häuschen means little house or cottage. Also, you will notice a lot of times Germans, when their children are small, will give them diminutive endings to their names to mean sort of like as a nickname. So a child whose name would be Klaus, when he is a child, might be called Kläuschen. Or if the girl's name is Greta, her when she's a child, they might call her Gretchen. Okay, so these are the diminutive endings, and the diminutive endings CHEN and LEIN are always neuter. Let's go ahead and look at some other similarities. Words that end in KEIT or kite in German are always feminine, as in die Gemütlichkeit. Die Gemütlichkeit really doesn't have a English translation, but it's sort of like the hospitable feeling you get when you are at home. So, die Gemütlichkeit. Also, difficulty in German ends in KEIT, and it's die Schwierigkeit. Die Schwierigkeit. And of course, it is also feminine. So all words that end in KEIT are always feminine. Another example, ung, UNG. All words that end in UNG are also feminine. For example, die Übung. Die Übung means practice in German. Okay. Another one, die Ernährung. Die Ernährung means nutrition in German. So all these times, when you see the UNG, you will know that the word is feminine. Also, another feminine, any word that ends in HEIT. HEIT or height. Okay? Die Einheit is the unification or unity. Okay? Die Einheit. Also, die Krankenheit. Die Krankenheit, the sickness. Okay? Die Krankenheit. Also, words that end in TION are feminine. Die Situation, okay, which is a situation, and these words are often derived from English or Latin roots. Die Nation, okay, die Nation, and also die Station, Station, station. Also note that in German a lot of times you will have compound words, which are words that are made up of two separate words. We have these words in English as well. Dog, house, it's one word, but it's made up of the word dog and house. Whenever you have a German compound word, the one that falls last in the sequence is the one who lends its gender to the whole word. So for example, das Kinderbuch, right? Das Kinderbuch, a child's book. The words it is made up of are die Kinder, which is children, okay? Das Buch, also das Kinderbuch, yeah? Another one, coffee machine. Der Kaffee, die Maschine, also die Kaffeemaschine, okay? It's one word, and the last word always takes the ending, or always takes the gender of, makes the gender of the whole word. So whatever the last word is, that's what the gender of the word will be. Hospital, das Krankenhaus, yeah? I'm trying to think of some other ones right off the top of my head. I can't, but those are some examples. So remember, whenever you learn a new German word, it's always best to learn the gender along with the word. So instead of learning Mädchen, okay, you'll want to learn das Mädchen, right? Instead of learning house, you want to learn das Haus, okay? And it's also always a good idea to learn the plural as well. Das Haus, die Häuser. Das Mädchen, die Mädchen. Der Junge, die Jungen. Okay? You always want to learn the gender of the word and the plural, because everything in German stems off of the gender of different words. And when you start getting into cases, you're going to have to know the gender of the word in order to make it work right. So always make sure that you are remembering the gender of the word and the gender of the word and the plural. I cannot stress this enough. If you have to make flashcards, do it, and don't give up until you know both the gender and the plural, because plurals in German are not like English. In English, we have s or es, and that's pretty much it. There are a couple words that are exceptions, but s and es is usually the way that plural is formed in English. However, in German, there are several different ways that you can form plurals. Like as in Mädchen, okay, it doesn't have any ending on it. It's plural. Das Mädchen, the girl. Die Mädchen, the girls. Some words add an en. Der Junge, die Jungen. Some of them add an er. Das Kind, die Kinder. Yeah? So make sure that you are always learning those. Again, I cannot stress that enough. So I hope this helps. Talk to you all later, and have a good evening. Schönen Tag noch. Bis zum nächsten Mal.